Oh, sod it. Let's do two today. So again, today's date is the 7th September 2019. Nothing's changed from the last one. Yeah, obviously this is for Harry and Alfie, and it's just so you know what your granddad's opinion was on if anything happens to me, and I'm not here to tell you in person. But again, I know it's topical at the minute, Brexit, and I'm sure, you know, as much as we're all fed up talking about it right now, I'm absolutely fed up talking about it. I get fed up and moaning about it. I think everybody's fed up and moaning about it, but it's massive. It's going to change the history of the UK forever, and it is. It's dividing communities, it's dividing families. I've got friends, or so-called friends, on Facebook, which is a social media platform in case it's disappeared when you're watching this. And I genuinely think less of them. I've just had a quick little look. I know I'm driving and I shouldn't have done. And one of my so-called friends has put taxi for no deal Brexit and laughing about it. And I think less of him. And how it boils down to, just dead quick, is that when we went to war with Germany, First World War, Second World War, did we worry that we're going to have food shortages afterwards? Or did we get stuck into them for a real reason, to save and liberate Europe? Now, if we were going to worry about the aftermath of what happened after the war, we were on rations for years. The British people, we had nothing for years. In fact, we lost millions of young men and women. I'm sure there were some women in there. And we had to import migrants from all over Africa. There was something called the Windrush scandal. Google that one, or whatever the search engine of the future is. We brought people over to drive our buses and clean our streets because we literally had no people. We had no people to do anything. We'd lost millions of people fighting 2 world wars. So, you know, just to do the basics, we needed to bring people in. And then people were, you know, they then settled, and we've got the country that we've got today. Now that's another topic of conversation for another video clip, post, whatever I want to call these things. Anyway, now we didn't worry about what happened afterwards. We had food shortages. I'm sure we had medical shortages. People had nothing. People don't understand today what it's like to be poor. Back then, you know, we had nothing, and I'm saying we. I mean, I grew up in the aftermath of that era. You know, my mum and dad were from the baby bloomers that were born just after the war, 45, 46, 1945, 1946. And we had nothing, so their kids, which is me, you know, we grew up like, it was hard. So yes, after Brexit, it might pinch a little bit. You know, petrol prices might go up, bread might not be on the shelves. Look at the bigger picture, the country's going to be safer. We ain't got these so-called migrants from Syria and all these Muslims coming in, and these young men, they're just young men of fighting age. That's one of the main reasons people voted for it. We're going to take control. So there was a Muslim terrorist, and we couldn't deport him because of the European Court of Human Rights said we weren't allowed to do it. Well, personally, I'd have just deported him and said, right, what are you going to do? So we're not going to be enslaved to the European state that make our rules, these unelected European people. The list goes on. I can see I've already gone over 3 minutes. Jesus, so much to say in so little time. So yes, the bulldog spirit that made us Great Britain, that is what we need. And yes, it might pinch a little bit, but like I say, I've got way too much to say on this subject. So anyway, all these people, so just to recap, we're at this stage at the minute where we're begging to Europe for a deal. Look, we're leaving, but we want a deal. But everybody in Parliament, bar just a few, like Boris Johnson, who's in at the minute, they want us to stay in Europe. So they're doing everything they can, the treacherous scum, because that's exactly what they are, treacherous scum. They're ignoring the will of the 17.4 million people who voted to leave. So they're doing everything they can so that we don't leave. And I don't think we will leave. I mean, watch this space. Will we ever leave? And even if we did, it'll be with a deal. And what will this deal mean? We're probably still tied into Europe. Things are going to get messy. Very messy. Anyway, that's nearly 5 minutes. I won't post this today, actually. I'll post it tomorrow, so it will be a day old. But I'm doing it now while I'm on an empty motorway, and while I've got these thoughts in my head. Anyway, adios amigos.